Hello again, lovers of classic movies. It's the Nitrate Freak, and we're back with yet another silent film review. Today we're going to be talking about Universal Pictures' 1928 Super Jewel production, The Man Who Laughs. Ladies and gentlemen, this movie is so good. It's so good. I can't say enough good things about this movie. It has everything that you want in it. It's just fantastic. Starring Conrad Veidt and directed by the German director Paul Lenny. It was one of the last of Universal's silent films and one of the first of Universal's classic monster movies. So typically the Universal monster movie cycle starts in 1930 with Dracula, then 1931 with Frankenstein. But that's not technically true. You could go as far back as 1924's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that probably is the first Universal monster movie. And the first Universal monster was Lon Chaney. Lon Chaney was actually supposed to be in The Man Who Laughs, but he had left Universal at that point. He was an MGM contract player, and, well, he was only 2 years away from dying, unfortunately. So that year, the year that this movie came out, he made West of Zanzibar, which we've reviewed on my channel. Now, as for the plot, I'm going to summarize Kevin Brownlow's summary from the booklet of the Flicker Alley Blu-ray, which I think sums up the movie the best. The Man Who Laughs was adapted from Victor Hugo's terrifying tale of Gwynplaine, a 17th century noble dispossessed as a child by the wicked James II and sold off to gypsies who mutilate his face so that it is permanently set in a desperate laugh. Brought up in a traveling show, Gwynplaine is involved in a lot of swashbuckling before finally laying claim to his inheritance and his girl. Now that is basically it. So why is this movie so beloved? Why is it such a fantastic film? Well, part of that has to do with the fact that Universal was kind of thought of as a bottom basement production company in the 20s. They made westerns and quickies, and they were looked down upon by the MGMs and whatnots of the world. So every so often they had to do what was called a super production, where they put all of their money into something, and that's where The Hunchback of Notre Dame comes from, several other films. That's their Super Jewel productions. So The Man Who Laughs was deemed to be the Super Jewel production. Originally, it was supposed to be directed by Raymond Bernard, a French director who would eventually make films like Wooden Crosses and probably the best version of Les Miserables that's not a musical. Raymond Bernard didn't end up making the film, so it had something to do with Abel Gance's Napoleon. So what ended up happening was Paul Lenny, who had directed The Amazing Waxworks, was hired by Universal. He came over, directed a film called The Cat and the Canary, which is a kind of horror spoof, and then was contracted to make The Man Who Laughs. In place of Lon Chaney, they got Conrad Veidt, who had played Cesare in The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and also had been Ivan the Terrible in Paul Lenny's Waxworks. So they'd worked together, there was good chemistry, and this was the role that Conrad Veidt was born to play. Let's talk a little bit about this makeup. This is a Jack Pierce makeup job. Jack Pierce would become the de facto makeup artist for the Universal Monsters. All of the great Universal Monster makeups that you know and love were done by Jack Pierce. This probably is his first classic creation. The, grimace grin that is on Gwynplaine's face would become, synonymous with silent horror. Even though I don't really think of this as a horror film. It's kind of like The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You actually are sympathizing with the mutilated person in this particular film. Bob Kane, who created Batman, has said that Gwynplaine was the inspiration for the Joker. And if you watch the movie, I think you can see that. Conrad Veidt is not the only great makeup job in the film. All of the actors and actresses have just incredible faces, and it's sort of a feast for the eyes. I gotta give an honorable mention to Brandon Hurst in the role of Barkilphedro. He has one of those typical silent film faces. Truly steals every scene that he's in. The Man Who Laughs has been restored beautifully by Flickr Alley. It is still available, and I highly recommend you purchase this. It looks brand new. It's filled with bonus features. It's got this beautiful little booklet with an essay from Kevin Brownlow, and Flickr Alley does really good work, and it's really good to support companies like this who put so much time and effort into physical media, because physical media is important. We can't be slaves to streaming. We can't be slaves to the internet. You know, if I want to watch The Man Who Laughs, I want to be able to watch The Man Who Laughs and not, hope it's streaming somewhere, which it probably isn't. And also, I can spend, I think, $30 once. Or I can rent it. If it's rentable, which I don't know that it is. So, big ups to Flickr Alley for doing this film and for everything that they do. We've got a lot of films coming up that are restored by Flickr Alley. I would call them the silent film Criterion. Although Criterion does silent films too, Flickr Alley seems to focus on them, and we praise them for their work. Anyway, The Man Who Laughs, 1928, Conrad Veidt, directed by Paul Lenny, Universal Pictures, Super Jewel production. Seek it out, watch it, love it. Comment below, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, so on and so forth. You hear it all the time because you're on YouTube and you're watching this. So until next time, au revoir.